The moment Daniel stepped into the softly lit bistro, his phone buzzed with a message he didn't expect: table by the window. Don't trust first impressions. He frowned, slipped the phone back into his pocket, and smiled anyway, because this was his first blind date in 2 years, and hope had finally convinced him to try again. If you've ever walked into a place wondering whether fate is about to change your life or embarrass you beyond recovery, you'll understand exactly how Daniel felt. And before this story unfolds, do me a small favor: if you believe in second chances, unexpected kindness, and stories that stay with you long after they end, tap like, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us until the very last moment. You won't regret it. Daniel had agreed to the blind date after weeks of persuasion from his sister, who insisted that loneliness wasn't a badge of honor. He wasn't bitter, just tired. Tired of introductions that felt like interviews, tired of pretending that losing his fiancée 3 years ago hadn't changed him. The woman he was meeting tonight, Emma, was described as easygoing, smart, and a little mysterious. That last part made him uneasy, but he chose optimism. He spotted a woman waving at him from the window table, elegant, confident, dressed in a way that suggested she knew exactly who she was. This had to be her. They exchanged polite smiles and small talk, the kind that floats on the surface before real connection dares to emerge. Emma spoke quickly, her laughter loud, her stories impressive: travels, connections, achievements. Daniel listened, nodding, but something felt off. Not wrong, just rehearsed. Like she was playing a role she had memorized well. He told himself he was imagining it. After all, first dates are awkward for everyone. When the waitress arrived, she looked younger than Daniel expected, with tired eyes and a gentle presence that contrasted sharply with the restaurant's polished atmosphere. Her name tag read Lily. She placed their menus down, but as she leaned closer to pour water, her eyes met Daniel's for a split second, long enough to say something without words. Concern, recognition, warning. Daniel felt a chill but brushed it off. Dinner progressed, and Emma's charm grew sharper, more pointed. She asked questions that felt less like curiosity and more like evaluation: his job, his income, his future plans. When he mentioned working as a project manager and living modestly, her smile thinned. She recovered quickly, but Daniel noticed. He always noticed now. Loss had taught him to read silences. Halfway through the meal, Lily returned with their food. As she set Daniel's plate down, a folded napkin slid onto the table, landing near his hand. Emma was too busy checking her phone to notice. Daniel unfolded it slowly, his heart pounding. She's not who you think. Please be careful. His breath caught. He looked up, searching for Lily, but she was already walking away, shoulders tense, as if she'd just crossed an invisible line. Daniel stared at the note, his mind racing. Was this some kind of prank? A misunderstanding? Or a warning that could save him from something worse? Emma noticed his distraction. Everything okay? She asked, her voice sweet but eyes sharp. Yeah, Daniel said, folding the napkin and slipping it into his pocket. Just thinking. The rest of the meal felt heavier. Emma grew impatient, her questions more intrusive, her warmth fading. When the bill arrived, she didn't even glance at it. Daniel paid, thanked her for the evening, and suggested they call it a night. She agreed too quickly, standing up with a forced smile. As Emma left, Lily appeared again, clearing the table. Daniel hesitated, then spoke softly. Why did you give me the note? Lily froze. For a moment, Daniel thought she might deny it. Instead, she sighed, the kind of sigh that comes from carrying too much alone. I shouldn't have, she said quietly. I could lose my job. But you did, Daniel replied. So it must matter. Lily looked around, then nodded toward the back door. 5 minutes, she whispered. Outside, the night air was cold and honest. Lily wrapped her arms around herself, choosing her words carefully. She explained that Emma had been coming to the restaurant for months, always on dates, always with different men. She overheard conversations, saw patterns, questions about money, pressure for investments, subtle manipulation. One man had returned weeks later, furious, accusing Emma of scamming him. Management brushed it off, but Lily remembered his face. And when she saw Daniel, something in her couldn't stay silent. Daniel listened, anger and gratitude colliding inside him. Why warn me? He asked. Because you looked kind, Lily said simply. And because I know what it's like to trust the wrong person when you're lonely. That honesty struck him deeper than the note ever could. He thanked her, genuinely, and left with a strange mix of relief and sadness. The date had been a disaster, but something unexpected had happened. Someone had cared enough to intervene. Days passed, but Daniel couldn't forget Lily. Not the warning, not her courage, not the way she spoke like someone who had been hurt but hadn't hardened. On impulse, he returned to the bistro one afternoon, not as a customer this time, but as a man with questions. Lily was surprised to see him. Embarrassed, even. But they talked, really talked. About her dreams of becoming a nurse, about working double shifts to support her younger brother, about trusting people and paying the price. Daniel shared his own story, the loss that had reshaped his life, the fear of opening up again. Their conversations became a quiet ritual. Coffee after shifts. Walks where words flowed easily. No pressure, no pretending. Just two people slowly learning that connection doesn't need grand gestures, just honesty.